You have a prepaid call from an incarcerated individual at the California Institution. California. What's called and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Prepaid call. Not be charged for this call. To accept interval or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Family.
What up, brother Chuck? Oh man, not nothing at all. Just staying busy. I was sitting here waiting for the next episode of the Anatomy of an Urban Soldier. Glad you tapped in. Anxious to eager to hear what you prepared over this last week. I know you got 1,000 gazillion million thoughts and you trying to channel them. I don't want to overtalk. You got a small period of time. How you been since we last spoke?
Just opportunity to become better and grow. So I'm thankful to be alive, and I'm just happy to be part of this platform, man. And I appreciate the opportunity to have. So without further ado, yeah, we talked about the anatomy of an urban soldier last week. We touched on a few points. We talked about poverty, we talked about trauma. I shared my experience of experiencing poverty and trauma. My first experience on jail, juvenile hall in 1992 at 12 years old. So we ended by you defining what a rider was. And I can't quote you exactly, but I'll paraphrase your definition was. The basic rider is somebody that's just down for whatever, eager to do whatever it takes to uphold the tenets of whatever sect they're from or gang they're from.
That's a fair summarization of what I said. That sound about right, yeah.
Okay. So I want to go a little bit deeper in terms of that definition, but before I do that, I want to wet the listener's ears with a poem that I wrote. I wrote this poem in Brooklyn State Prison, August 13th, 2020, during the pandemic. It's called Take It All in Stride. I'm judged by a jury, none of which are my peers. Based on the fact that I'm black, I'm looking at multiple peers. My social standing is seldom a factor in deciding my case, because we live in a country where fate is largely based upon race. I'm guilty until proven innocent. There's only one defense for me. No need to plead insanity. My plea is poverty. All things considered and such actual facts, the book they threw at me is equivalent to an axe. I was told to keep my head up and take it all in stride, prepare myself mentally for the long prison ride. The world fused with isolation, ignited by racism and violence, advised to pay attention to my surroundings, continue to move in silence. Trust is never an option. Be wary of those who offer you protection. Just remember this one thing. All warfare is based on deception. Big hugs and handshakes, subtle seeds of jealous. Listen to words of hate, deeds of intelligence. Keep this all in mind and don't carry yourself like a rookie. Trust and know and please believe that people will hate on you.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Small as what?
There's no escaping this harsh reality. Next with cookie.
Okay.
There's no escaping this harsh reality. You can't run and hide, so stay strong and keep your head up. Take it all in stride.
Oh, okay. Them was bars.
So segue. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's a segue into what we're going about to explore. So, with that definition that you expounded on last segment, you said you defined basically what a rider was, right? So
Right.
let's examine that. So, in the gang culture, that's the label that we label as individuals within this culture. What were they from a clinical standpoint, right? When we examine it from a clinical standpoint, these very guys that, speaking for me, that I looked up to and admired and inspired to be like, what they were was serial killers and sociopaths. In a nutshell.
To be, hey, keeping it, you ain't never lied. To be honest, yeah.
Right, so we're right in the midst of these guys that are mentally broken, and are essentially on the verge of being diagnosed as crazy. And these are the people that most people within this culture are aspiring to be like. And then you take it from the streets to the prison setting or the incarceration setting, and then a lot of these places further traumatized, and it created it further it dug deeper into that hole of psychosis that we were experiencing that we didn't know about, because it all stems from trauma. Once we examine that trauma and realize that, wait a minute, this is not normal, but we normalize it within these cultures.
Extremely, yeah, we did. Do you believe that? I was doing reactions earlier today, and the one I'm scheduled to do as soon as I'm finished hollering at you is a reaction to a Nelly Fuller video, and it was about hip hop. And the title was a question: is hip hop good for Black people? Do you think hip hop are in us accepting some of these degenerate ways?
Absolutely. I truly believe that music has a positive and negative influence. So when we go back to 1987, that's when gangster rappers were born. Ice Cube and NWA, they put out that song "Boys in the Hood."
Boys in the Hood is always hard. Come talk. Yeah, we ate it up though. Go ahead.
Right. Exactly. So that was a game changer, because what they did was that reinforced what we were already thinking as up and coming gang members or people that were already established within the gang culture. So now we listen to this music, it's just like when we work out. You know, I can't work out to no classical music.
Right.
You gotta have something that's motivating.
Right. Gonna pump up. Yeah, right.
Right. Exactly. So when we listen to this music, we pump it up, and you know, it's all about representing steady. You know, we drink a 40 ounces, whatever the case may be, or smoke a strong stick or whatever. Now we ready for action. I do, to answer your question, I do think in a lot of ways it did harm us. You know, typically during the cocaine epidemic, during the 80s.
Yeah.
Because then we had a lot of different things in play that we didn't know about, bro.
Right.
We had a hand in trying to get young Black men off the streets, because pushing drugs during the cocaine epidemic was a threat. So they had a vested interest in trying to strategize and figure out a way, how can we not only infiltrate these gangs, how can we understand them, and the more important question is, how could we get them into the prison industrial complex?
Yeah, I've heard that term. That's when it was all orchestrated in that time frame.
That was a big part of it during the Reagan administration, because you had the terms crack and you had cocaine. Now, if you get caught with X amount of cocaine, which was legal term that they used to give people that didn't look like us less time.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, people in the urban areas who happen to be Black and brown people, if you're caught with crack, they're gonna break your back. They're gonna break your back in the course.
And crack happened to rhyme with black.
Yeah, exactly. So, then we talk about how did all this cocaine get into our areas in the
Come on now. Come on, break bread.
no shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
It came from an outside source. How did all these military assault weapons get into our neighborhoods?
Right.
It came from an outside source, and it was strategically put there.
Nobody likes to acknowledge that. They just brush right over that.
Right. So then we were none the wiser. We didn't know. We didn't know that there was a big sex game going on behind the scenes. We fell right into the trap, a lot of them, right?
Right.
You had police organizations. In fact, I was reading this book called From the War on Poverty to the War on Crime, The Making of Mass Incarceration in America by Elizabeth Henson. So she was talking about how during the Reagan administration and during the crack epidemic, that actually the Attorney General had a Crip and Blood handbook specifically with intel pertaining to Crips and Bloods that we never had no idea existed. And they shared all this information with the police departments in these urban areas, and they gave them the blueprint on how to identify us as gang members, what to look for, and dress code, and so on and so forth. I say that to say that a lot of stuff that we fell victim to was strategically placed in our communities, which in the end, it caused us to go on a kamikaze mission in terms of engaging in criminal activity and gang activity. And then going to the court system, and the court is biased against black people. So their overall agenda was to, hey, you know, they set us up from a kid. But once they got you in the system, as a young kid, their whole mindset was like, let them keep going in and out because we're establishing a record of his activity. Then later on down the line, fast forward to, what was it, March 1st, 1994, 3 strikes. Now you got these career criminals that they had already set the stage to receive a checkmate, so to speak. Now you got these guys that have been running in and out of these penitentiaries, youth authorities, and such. Now you do something as small as there's still a candy bar. Hey, wait a minute, you got 2 fires.
You remember the famous slice of pizza? I think the back in the day when that shit first started popped off. Yeah. You got 3 strikes for a slice of pizza. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. So a lot of this stuff was a strategic play, man. So it goes back to here we go, going back to the development of the mindset of an urban soldier. So now we have all these forces that exist within the community. So now we just go full-fledged into what we believe in, which was, like I spoke about last episode, to a lot of us.
Your call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Right.
We respected those things to the letter. And, you know, for me, a lot of times I put my neighborhood over, you know, a lot of my family. That's how
I can relate.
I was loyal to these dudes. You know, looking back, I was loyal to the wrong thing. Now I know better, but at the time, you know, I was loyal.
Right.
So,
Tell me this, Brother Carpenter.
going to
As far as the condition that you see that we have found ourselves in as a community, do you see for the future it getting any better, or is it just doom?
No, I think it, you know, the same way that mindset was created, the same way that mindset was created through education, through awareness. Because I think I mentioned last episode, we can't fix something we don't realize it's broken in the first place.
True.
Number one, we have to acknowledge that it's broken. Yeah, and that's what I had to do. I had to get to a place where, you know what? I mean,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
we'll pick up on that next episode. We'll talk about the solution next episode. So I look forward to the next episode.
Likewise.
Thank you for allowing me to share this topic, and look forward to talking to you again, brother.
I knew you. It was like a piece of cake. Now you producing your own show, bro. You got a 15-minute show weekly on the Black Box. I appreciate you lending your talents to my platform. I'm attempting to expand, and the fact that you feel appreciative of it, it's reciprocated. I'm appreciating your energy, your talents, and your words, and I'm pretty sure as we continue and it grows, many others will appreciate what you're offering too.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
See you next time, man.
All right, salute.
You have a good one.
Likewise.
All right,
Bet. Yeah, that was Brother Carpenter, Charles Carpenter to be exact. He's doing life currently right now. I think he's 23, 24 years into a life sentence. Started going to prison, incarceration, juvenile hall age. And he's in his 50s, and his perspective on life has changed. And he'd be the first to tell you and to tell me, don't let it take what he's going through before you decide to get it together. And we do a weekly segment called The Anatomy of an Urban Soldier right here on the Black Box. It's a 15-minute segment that I guess you can call me a co-producer because I'm involved, but I don't want to take any credit. He produces his own show. He comes up with the content. He comes up with the concept. And it's what I would like to do when I tap in with incarcerated individuals in general is what happens is when I do just have a casual, candid conversation with someone in prison, you have a meaningful conversation. For one, I don't waste time talking about bullshit. For two, they have a short period of time to talk, and they are usually serious about what it is that they are speaking on. And we're being recorded, so usually it is extremely positive in nature. And often there are things said that I think that can be utilized just in general for motivation, encouragement, and lessons as far as on these platforms. So I'm personally interested in capturing some of those segments for production. Shout out my boy Papa LQ. Every time I push 5 on here, I think about him because that was actually a title of a show he was producing, Conversations from Behind the Wall. However, Brother Carpenter is an artist, an author, artist, poet, and he has his own mission and contribution that he would like to give. And I'm also pleased that he allowed us to participate from it right here on the Black Box. And so we'll see him again, see you again next week, same time, same place.
Damn, that's a fame beat.
I go by the name of G5 like this. We getting rich off beats.
No matter what you do in life, whether doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big brother doing life. No matter what you do in life, doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big homie doing life. When you left, your second was so young. On the set, I stay checking on your son. He banging, hate it, but I can't trip. Front hood Compton, at least cuz playing crib. Solid, strong, feel like you still with me. You can ask him, I still keep that still with me. Can't control him, we'll try to guide him. Provide him with game, keep it real when you ride him. The money, violence, the thrills that inside him. Sound familiar? Yeah, a lot familiar inside him. It's in his genes to stay papered up. PBG, real clean and tapered up. Got him on what his granny and his mother need. Bleed and ride for him just like your other seed. Never dumb, you know I got a head on me. And I got cuz on the dead homies. No matter what you do in life, whether doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big brother doing life. No matter what you do in life, doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big homie doing life. I told the big homie I had him. Love him but barely know him. I could only imagine. Probably 21 on him, whoop on him in Madden. Then roll up a fat one and show him what's happening. Teaching tactics to get it on his own too. Few tricks of the trade you turned the nigga on to. My behind him in the club, he be on too. My word, one thing you can hold on to. Love you, bro, just like B say. Me and Catman smoke big kush on your C-Day. He fit right in with the click on some G shit on daddy. That's who they finna find me with. Golden gloves, certified mid hands on the land. Knock out like hitmans. Big bands, young nigga got a head on him. And I got cuz on the dead homies. No matter what you do in life, whether doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big brother doing life. No matter what you do in life, doing wrong or doing right, make sure you do it right. My big homie doing life.
Niggas spent all these years on the block. Niggas spent all these years on the block and ain't got nothing to show for it. And then what a nigga do got to show, a nigga got on my own. So what I need you niggas for? Now I start to look at y'all like enemies. So in all reality, like I said, we gotta humble ourselves and we gotta come together, man. We gotta love each other. Cause that's what it's really about. Cause man, black people, we got the strongest, we the strongest. Like in jail, nigga, on God, they separate us. It's 14 blacks to 72 Mexicans in there. And I told the police, I said, why y'all put us in there with all these Mexicans? They said because that's how it break down. Like that's how y'all can handle them.
Yeah. Snakewood and that Puzzle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.